Hello, I'm Shanahan. This is my 5th Dominion match of my league season. Normally there are only 5 matches, but I played 2/3 of a match. So I still have 2 games to go after this. Let's see what we've got going on here. There's not really many cheap cards, but there are some really strong cards here. Mountebank is very strong. You can trash a little bit with Altar. You can put Lost Arts on something. But I think the big thing here is there's not a ton of draw. So I think you just kind of have to open Mountebank Silver and hope to curse your opponent into oblivion. Can you do stuff with Grave Robber? Like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do, but I'm not sure how to do it without trashing. So I think it just feels bad to pass up on Mountebank. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Mountebank, see if they follow suit. With the Baker token, each player gets +1 coffers during setup. You can always open it with a 5 in one of the 2 turns. It also doesn't seem unreasonable to put plus Lost Arts token on Inventor and then just go for a huge Inventor stack. But it's really hard to draw more than 2 Inventors a turn, especially once the Mountebank starts adding in curses and coppers and stuff. So that plan doesn't seem great. I'm also considering getting a bunch of Mountebanks and putting Lost Arts on Mountebank and just plowing my opponent into oblivion. That doesn't feel super great either, but we're going to have so many curses and coppers in the deck that maybe there is nothing else that can be done. By the time you get Swamp Hag online, all the curses will be gone from the decks. Grave Robber, it's going to be tough to collide that with something useful. They got a silver, so they have a 2/5, it looks like. And you obviously hope to hit 5 2 more times, but you don't really expect to hit 5 twice. As long as my Mountebank doesn't miss the shuffle here, I'm going to be in pretty good shape. I think I do have to get... They got an Apprentice. Interesting. I guess since they skipped Mountebank, I can pick my second 5 as an Apprentice. Let's see what they do here. So do I want to get the Apprentice now, or do I want to get the other Mountebank? I'm a little bit ahead in cursing them. They may be able to trash 1 estate this match. So, this game. Early on to get a little bit of drawback to make up for that 2 cards. I think I'm going to stick with my Mountebank plan and hope they don't collide. I can at some point consider putting the Lost Arts token on Mountebank so I can play multiple Mountebanks on a turn. Is that worth it here? I don't think that's worth it here. I think I'm likely to hit 6 again. And I'm just going to... Yeah, so now that I have 3 Mountebanks in a deck of about 15 cards, it makes sense for me to do that. Once the Mountebanks run out, I think I'm just going to try to get a couple provinces, and mostly it'll just be duchies. I don't think I'll be able to get much more than that. If I hit a real early 6 after this one, I might go for a gold or 2. You can also camel for golds if somehow that comes up. And I will put Lost Arts on Mountebank, which is a little bit odd. It's not something I've done before. 6 here. I think I will get 1 Apprentice, or I could also get an Altar. I'll get an Altar. Altar can turn coppers and silvers into duchies, which is what I want. So I have 3 estates and a curse. They have 1 estate and a curse, it looks like, or 2 estates and a curse. 1 estate and 1 curse. Sorry, 1 estate and 2 curses. And I should have 2 more Mountebanks in my next hand. I might have 3 Mountebanks in my next hand. We'll see if they get another Altar here. It's somewhat committal. They didn't commit to any hard strategy like I did early on with the second Mountebank and the Lost Arts. So they've got a little bit more flexibility, which means if my strategy is not good, they have a good shot of winning. if the mountebank stuff is just so strong that they can't do much against it, then my strategy will win. So it's sort of the tale of two strategies. They're going to be able to discard one, but they're going to gain 2 curses and 2 coppers. And I don't think I'm going to have a ton of chances to hit province in this deck, so I'm going to go ahead and just pick up a province now. I think the second 6 can be an altar. I've got enough terminal space in my deck. The mountebanks and the altar do seem to be hiding in the bottom half of this deck. Is there any thought to a noble brigand? They don't really have a lot of silvers and golds. I don't have a ton of terminal space, so I think the silver is fine. Here probably I will get one last mountebank before going in on the duchies. They did do the noble brigand thing, and it was able to discard a mountebank, and it was able to trigger a shuffle where I don't have my second altar in it, which is sad. So wow, they had 2 curses. Well, wasn't able to trash them, but they aren't able obviously to have a good turn, with that being the case. So again, this will be one more mountebank silver pair, and then I think the rest of these 6s are going to be duchies. Is there any consideration to distant lands? I know I'm going to be able to draw back around to get those and play them. I don't think so. I'm also considering, should I just actually pile down the mountebanks first? They've got a lot of apprentices, but those don't look good when you've got all those coppers and curses in the deck. Alright, since I have a points lead, I'm going to go for the one more mountebank. So they trashed their mountebank. That's a odd play. So they're going to have a nice turn here, but at the expense of a bunch of payload that they needed to have. Okay, and it makes sense to me to just pile the mountebanks here and now go hard on the duchies. There's a decent chance they'll be able to hit a province at some point. It's going to be really tough for them to hit a province, I say, as they drew all their treasures. But they're running out of stuff to trash without trashing like silvers and stuff. They should just have a ton of coppers and curses in this deck, right? So like it should be really hard for them to find consistent. They had 2 really good turns in a row where they got province, but it feels unlikely that that's going to happen a bunch of more turns in a row. I'll be able to buy 2 duchies here. Yeah, this is more what I expect when they trash a silver not to be able to hit 5 just because of all the coppers and curses. Let's see if I can hit him here with this last curse. I cannot. Get a duchy, buy a duchy. Yeah, if these altars was like a silver, I could buy a province here. It's probably fine that I'm just double dutching. Here, and I'm really just cursing them a lot. They probably can't take that duchy because the game ends so quickly if they take it. But, you know, it's turn 20, but the mountebank stuff was rough. We see the final deck state, 6 curses, 16 coppers. It's just tough with mountebanks. I'd never bought 8 mountebanks or lost arts of mountebank before. In this kingdom, at least, it seemed to work pretty well. Painful, but a good game, and I'll see you in game 2.